put you up. Okay, hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. I'm so excited again. We have the one and only, my friend, your friend, dysmorphia activist and actress, Karma McCain. Karma, welcome.
Hi, great to be here again as always.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's Thursday. We're getting close to the weekend here. It's nice. It's been nice weather out, so I'm super excited.
Does the weekend mean anything anymore?
You, I ask myself this question a lot. I don't know how much it meant to me in the first place, perhaps. Maybe even less now, but I don't know. How are weekends with you?
Yeah, I guess kind of the same. I think being entrepreneurs and, self-employed and having our own business, weekends are kind of, we're sort of elusive as it was, right? I mean, in a way. So yeah, but it does feel like for sure the day's time in general has sort of all of it's become elusive in a way,
Hmm.
not just the weekends. So yeah, it's all sort of blended.
It is a little blended. Well, speaking of time and some of this stuff, one of the reasons I'm really, excited to talk to you today because you and I have been having some conversations about some of the stuff that you have been out there actively learning right now, which honestly is one of the things that I admire about you right now. And
Thank you.
frankly, yeah, you're most welcome. Anybody right now who is really taking the time to explore alternate ways of being or alternate ways of doing things, like we sort of almost don't really have a choice, right? Like we kind of just got to do it. So, I wanted to talk. You've been telling me some interesting stuff, and a lot of what we talk about here is about mindset and sort of the power of the mind. And I just wanted to touch base with you. What are you learning these days about how powerful our minds are and how we can use them?
Yeah, it's a big thing, and yet also so simple, and also yet kind of the most challenging. It's like such a double-edged sword. It's interesting that you said that about having a choice. Like we don't really have a choice, but we do have a choice. It's just I'm finding that now the awareness of choice has become more prevalent since COVID. So being for most of us, again, it goes back to like those of us, well, and I guess when the stay at home orders were in place for most of the world, most people were at home on stay at home orders. And so that was an unprecedented time in which our perception and our mindset was put into a different place. Maybe not so much by choice because we didn't have a choice whether we wanted to stay home or not, unless we were an essential worker, right? So that, in a way, we didn't have a choice. With that said, I feel like the awareness of, at least for me, staying at home and staying at home beyond the stay-at-home orders, because for a long time my job wasn't considered essential work. Now entertainment is. Um, it's given me the opportunity to look at how I do choose. Like everything from like, okay, I'm at home. How do I choose to spend my time? Am I going to just Netflix and chill day in and day out? Am I going to learn a new language? Am I going to dive into my friendships or what? We have all these choices, and then yet I guess some of us feel like we don't have a choice. We're just stuck at home without any choices. So mindset is really like our golden ticket to everything. And so I feel like pre-COVID, most of us were going about our life, doing our routine and our ritual, whatever that meant for us. For me, it was an actor auditioning, prepping for the next thing, and my day in day out schedule. And for some of us, it was 9 to 5, or some of us, bartending, whatever it may be. Um, we were just sort of in this cycle, like that was our normalcy, and that was broken. And so now I feel like our minds is such a golden opportunity to choose. What do you want to do? How do you want to choose to live your life from this moment forward? And there's so much divisive information out there right now, right? And so we can either go along with that information and not choose to think about it or question it, or we can really sit within our own presence and see what feels right and what doesn't feel right, versus just being what I found throughout my life is I've just been fed media, right, which led to my body dysmorphia, and it leads to a lot of people feeling insecure about their bodies. They're not thin enough. They're, they don't have a big enough booty, or like their hair is not thick enough, or no, whatever it may be. We've been sort of force fed this stuff and not really thought twice about it. And I feel like COVID's given us a time to really stop and look around at our world and choose how we want to see it.
Gotcha. So there are a lot of people out there. Like I hear what you're saying about choosing to take this time to do something new, look into something else, whatever. There are a lot of people out there who are saying, "Look, it is my choice and totally my right to do nothing," and I am sick and tired of hearing people tell me to go do something else or to do something new or what have you, and just leave me alone. My choice is to hang out, right, and to not dive into this. Some of these people think that this is the misinformation. What do you have to say to somebody who comes to you and is like, you know what, enough? Like, don't come at me with this.
Are you talking about sort of the toxic positivity thing where people are like, do? Or are you talking about masks?
Well, yeah. Let's talk about but really around the productivity guilt. And I guess you mentioned this term and you brought it to me a while ago, toxic positivity. Maybe tell me what that's all about.
Yeah, there is for sure this sort of, I feel like there is a little bit of guilt ridden, like, you're at home, you have all this time, why aren't you doing something, right? So that's toxic positivity. Like, why aren't you being productive? Why aren't you learning a new language or taking a class? Why are you Netflix and chilling? And with that said, some people need this time. Like, this is a really overwhelming time, and it's unprecedented for most of us. So some of us need to just Netflix and chill, and that's okay too. So yes, there is this toxic positivity about having to be productive, and that again goes back to what I was saying earlier about we have a choice of what we're taking in and how we decide to take it in. So if I'm hearing, someone who's a motivator, within the self-motivational speaking arena, and I'm feeling guilt about not following their steps, that's my choice, right? And if it's not resonating with me right now, my choice is to recognize, wait a minute, I hear what they're saying and I agree with it, but right now my heart is telling me I need to just decompress. I need to just relax and focus on my own mental well-being, my own peace of mind. And so the time to come for the motivation will come. I feel like, and that's kind of how I guess all this all ties in, is recognizing our own voice and listening to it, not what the outside world is saying, right? Because at the end of the day, we only have control over our mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, no matter what is happening on the planet, at the end of the day, we can't control that. We can only control our mindset. And so, be the change you wish to see is truly the most valuable piece of advice next to being present, which is Eckhart Tolle's famous message, The Power of Now. Like, being present is ultimately actually being the change we wish to see. Because when we're fully present in this moment right now, like I see you, Owen, I'm here, I'm listening to you and talking to you. I'm not thinking about whatever, my cat, like she's wherever she, like whatever it is. I'm not thinking about what I have to do after this, or I'm just here with you right now. So if we can maintain our presence as much as possible, that is a choice. And then within that, listening to what our body is telling us. Our emotions are our guides, right? So the toxic positivity, if we're feeling guilty, that's our emotions telling us this isn't right now. This is not right for you right now.
Got
We
it.
have to find joy in everything we do.
Got it.
And that being present and feeling joy is our navigation to know what we need.
Okay, so it sounds so. I guess my next question was going to be, but maybe you got this answered. Is if somebody is in a spot where they're feeling uncomfortable, what have you? How do you first realize that you can change your mind, and then what do you do to do it? And it sounds like what you're saying is the trick is to just focus on being present right now. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? So what's a yeah? Go ahead.
Yes and no, but go ahead.
No, keep going. Yeah, definitely. Let me know.
Well, so right, like there. so a lot of people tend to push out discomfort or feelings of not feeling adequate or sadness or pain. And the thing is if we can sit present in that pain, in that discomfort, and not read into it and attach our story to it, because that's what we tend to do. We tend to attach, like, oh, I've got this trauma, my dad did this, my mom did that, my friend did that. As soon as we attach something to it, we've created something else. We're out of presence. Because when we're truly in the pain and our discomfort and just sitting with it and acknowledging it, that's how we get through it. They say the only way to the other side is through it, right? We have to go through it, and that means being present in that. So discomfort is also a gauge for us to sit with that pain. And if we can just navigate through it without attaching our story to it, then that's how we can heal that pain.
God.
And so mindset, and also, yeah, if you can find joy in your pain, which sounds like a juxtaposition, but we're here as humans, right? And the more joy that we can find, we're alive. If you're feeling pain, it means you're alive. You are here. So even though it's not comfortable, embrace it as much as you can. And I tell you, being present, the next moment, it will be something else. The pain will be gone and you'll be on to something else.
Got it. So tell me about what's like a time maybe recently where you have found the need to bring yourself to be present, and what you did, and maybe some advice in that for how other people could do the same.
Well, it's a constant, constant exercise, right? I mean, if I had to gauge my own presence, I mean, I guess maybe I'm at like 40, 60, like 40% of the time I'm truly present. Maybe not even that much. I feel like it's training. It's just getting used to saying, I want to be present, making the choice, like just going to the gym and having a daily practice of moments where I am for sure at this time going to practice being present. And then that sort of stretches, it's just like as a muscle grows. It's like I find myself now that I do it more throughout the day, when I realize I'm not being present, I'll hear a voice will tell me, present, come back to presence, and then I can come back to presence.
I'm gonna start. So what does that look like when you come back to presence? Like what do you do to bring yourself present?
So the best way to be present is to have joy in whatever it is you are literally doing in that moment. So if it's washing the dishes, it's not thinking about, oh, I'm going to the grocery store tomorrow. Don't forget to get, of course, we have thoughts that come in that, that we need to use. It's not to be like, just walk around in a bubble, but it's also to have that thought, but then come back to focusing on the task at hand, right? And so that's why it's like, if I'm, having a conversation with you, am I constantly picking up my phone and checking it? Or am I focused on having a conversation with you? Am I, when I'm feeding my cat, am I thinking about something else? Or am I focusing on mixing this food and like putting joy into that? It's really about having joy in every single moment. And it does take practice because our minds don't want us. I don't know how far down the rabbit hole I can go because it starts to get really deep. But our mind essentially is mostly ego-based, and it wants to keep us focused on other thoughts because then, we're not present, right? And so the trickery is really coming back to presence, because that's when our true consciousness kicks in. When we're present, we are in our true consciousness. As soon as we're starting to wander off into dreamland or wherever, we go into our unconscious and our ego. And so really to stay as conscious and present as possible in that joy is when we tap into our true consciousness.
Whew. That sounds amazing. That sounds so incredible to think that we have that at our disposal just right now, right? And I think of so many times
Yeah.
too, when I get so distracted, or I'll sit where I'm sitting right now and just stare out the window or wander around, and just hearing what you're saying, like, yeah, you're right. Every moment that I spend not focused on where I am, even if it's just sitting and relaxing, I do start to get a little uneasy and a little uncertain about the future.
Yeah, right. And it's so funny you said, even if you're walking around and you need that time to walk and you go look out the window, what do you see when you look out the window? Right? It's like, are you actually present looking out the window and you're like, wow, look at that big, beautiful tree and the leaves and seeing the branches and just really being present with what you're seeing out there. Um,
Gotcha.
and I have another thought that escaped me that I wanted to say, but it's okay. Maybe it'll come back. I thought
Daydreaming
what
with
you said
intention.
something else. Oh, and breathing, breath. Breath is a good way to get present. That's what I was gonna say. When you're, like you are just sitting there. If you just need a moment to sit down, if you can literally just focus on your breath and nothing else, that is a sure, quick way to get you present. And as soon as your thoughts start to wander, just come back to your breath, right? And there is this moment, and this is something I learned from Eckhart Tolle as well. One of the first meditations I did with him in one of his classes was, take a nice deep breath in, and then you exhale and you leave it out for a couple seconds. And that couple seconds on the out breath, there's this little magic that kind of happens in your body right before you take your next inhale. And I never noticed that before. I never paid attention to it. And ever since he told me, I'm like, oh yeah, we can always come back to our breath for that little glimpse into our true consciousness. And so, yes, breath, great way to get conscious and present.
All right. You heard it here first. The trick is to keep breathing. Although I
Yes,
think that
sounds
that's the title of
affirming.
a garbage song. Awesome, awesome. Well, what an incredible time. Thank you so much, Karma. And I just want to tell you guys as well, Karma, if you like what she's got to say, you get a whole lot more of it too. She is the co-host of the 30 Days to Freedom Challenge, which we are kicking off again on Monday. This is all the coaching information and tools that you need to turn your knowledge and skills and products into a thriving online community, and you can do it without being tech savvy or being an entrepreneur, and you can do it in 30 days. Is that right, Karma? Karma's been through it. Am I telling the truth?
It's amazing. It really is. I'm still so grateful for that class and doing the 30-day challenge. It really changed my perspective on so many things about even what I do, just even telling my own story. So it's really phenomenal. I'm always grateful for that. I really can't thank you enough for that 30-day challenge. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for being the co-host of it now. And so you guys out there watching, if you want some awesome stuff and some more karma, and because who doesn't, then go ahead on over to abundancehackers.life right now, and you'll get a free gift too when you sign up, and then you can learn more about what we got with the challenge. So go to abundancehackers.life. And Karma, where do we see more about you?
You can find more of my acting at Karma McCain, and my body diversity is Karma McCain VIP.
On Instagram?
Yeah. Yes, sorry. I'm like, you'll find me. If you want to find me, you'll find me. Yes, Karma McCain VIP on Instagram and Facebook, and Karma McCain on pretty much everything else.
Excellent.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome. Karma,
yeah. Thank you.
thank you so much for all this information. Thank you for this important reminder to breathe, but also that like just doing that is way more powerful than just filling our lungs. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so that's it for today. We will see you next time. Go to abundancehackers.life. Check out Karma McCain, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.